Okay, sisters and brothers, this is Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, breaker of the 7 seals. Today, we're going to discuss the demon plague. One second here, brother and sister, have a slight little technical difficulty. Okay, that's fine. The horror zone. Let's talk briefly about the horror zone. That is, let me make a small slight change here. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. A new setup I have here. Trying to get used to it. There you go. That's a little better. It's a little better. And go over here. Just a little better. Okay, leave it like that. Okay. Make sure I'm still active here. Oops. New technology. Okay, it's working. Okay. The Holocaust. We're going to talk briefly about this Holocaust. See, brothers and sisters, we've been in a state of horror for nearly 500 years. 500 years. They want to call it slavery. It's a whitewash. Because slavery is an economic system. It's an economic system. See? Look up slavery. See? That has pretty much to do with like capitalism, maximum profit, minimum overhead, get work out of you, don't pay you. I mean, that's the ideal. That's the dream of every capitalist, right? Maximum profit, minimal to zero overhead. That's what slavery is. That's the economic part. But the social part, in other words, had interaction between the slavers, that's not economics. That's personal. That's up close and personal. See? That was the Holocaust. See? Because for over 40, nearly 500 years, we was treated brutally like beasts because we was in the control of beasts. See, lions produce animals, lions produce lions, and giraffes produce giraffes, right, and so forth, so on. And beasts produce beasts. So they treat us like beasts because they are beasts. They don't know any way to treat you. A dog knows no other way to treat you but the way a dog is. If they were angels, they would treat us like angels. See? But they treat us like beasts. See? Because they are beasts. That's why the scriptures refer to them as beasts. For nearly 500 years, they want to call slavery as some whitewash. It was a Holocaust. It was horrific. See? And you got many nowadays trying to downplay it because they want to get closer to Master. But see, that's why we're going to talk about the demon plague, because that's the demons doing that. They downplay it because it was their fathers that was the behind the Holocaust. See, they skinfolk, not kinfolk. It was their fathers behind. That's why they tried to downplay it. Oh man, you got someone writing books saying, "Well, we came over here as guests, and we were so wicked and so evil they had to put us in chains." You got Negro butts and demons writing that kind of stuff. Primarily demons. You see them on TV. See, America's the greatest, and America's found on righteousness, is found on justice, is found on peace and freedom. What? Excuse me? Well, they say America came into existence in 1777, right? 1777, right? That's right. I mean, it was big, but I mean, as a nation, as a because remember, America's a corporation. You need to look it up. It's a corporation. See? So they say it came into existence in 1776, right? So where was you in 1776? Was you there in the Congress? Was you there writing this stuff? Was you part of the lawmaking? Or was you in the slave in the fields being raped, murdered, see, beaten? All men, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They weren't talking about you. They wouldn't consider you a man because they said all men are created equal. So by definition, you wasn't a man. But you got these demons. Oh man. See, these demons. Oh man. You see, it wasn't it wasn't like that. Man, America was founded on justice, freedom. See, capitalism. And see, capitalism is a predatory system. Capitalism, they kept telling you capitalism freed the world from poverty. That's a lie. Capitalism impoverished the world. Everywhere they went, there wasn't any finding poverty. They didn't find disease. When they broke out of Europe 500 years, 600, nearly 500 years ago, they didn't find disease and poverty and war and pestilence. They found prosperity in most places and freedom and justice and harmony. See, because everybody was in their own place, like God had put them, right? Everybody in their own place, The Orientals were there, they were in their place, the Asians were in their place, right? The people of here were in their place. Everybody was in their own place, minding their own business until they came along with their bullshit, come along with what they said. The devils go forth, what? Killing, stealing, and destroy. That's what they, the devils went. That's how I said they rolled. Killing, stealing, and destroy. How did he get this land? How did he get Australia? See, how did he get Canada? They come in a lotto, or they steal it and kill the inhabitants and brought us over here and destroyed us. We need to be real, because that was slavery, just a small aspect of it. Slavery does include rape, murder, and all those things that you can't even imagine they was doing. So stop letting them keep calling you the hard car. They see trying to downplay it. It's like they do the CRT stuff. They're trying to downplay everything. They're trying to downplay it. See, CRT. In other words, you understand what they're saying? They're saying it's a theory. But they did, that's no theory. Try calling the Holocaust a theory and see what happens to you. It wasn't no theory. They're trying to downplay it. See? Because 2020 was a shock to them. We'll talk about that a little bit. That was a shock to them. See? That was a major shock to them. Why was it a shock? Because this whole thing is wrapped around something called the Abrahamic Covenant that most of you don't know anything about, because they've been putting that down. They've been squashing it ever since Martin Luther King gave his Promised Land speech. Because that was all about. Abrahamic Covenant. Because he went to see Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad schooled him on it. He came and tried to tell you about it. They blew his brains out the next day. They told him don't talk about it. And you don't see none of these preachers talking about it. And FARRAKHAN, he takes, and he has to talk about it to a certain extent, but he downplays it too. Because the whole purpose of Elijah Muhammad's mission, and the person that came here and taught him, was to tell us that about the Abrahamic covenant and our return home after 400 years of Holocaust. So Farrakhan has to dance around that one. See, he pulls off on the people that don't know, wasn't around with Elijah Muhammad. But there's a few people like myself. I was around. I was one of the security guards. See, so he can't fool me. But he's telling these youngsters they have never any connection or anything about what Elijah Muhammad's talking about, and they don't take time to go and research. Because he got his speeches right there on YouTube, right? He's got books and things that Farrakhan is not teaching anything, nothing of Elijah Muhammad's teachings. The Holocaust. They're trying to downplay it. Oh, it was, because they have an agenda. See, 2020 is significant. It's a very significant day. Because if you notice, you go back, everything, it wasn't just the virus that changed everything. Everything just changed. The whole climate, everything changed specifically in America. Because that was a special day that passed you by. It passed you by. Because this is to connect up to CRT stuff too, right? Critical race theory. Because they're saying 1619 was when slavery started here in America. And that was the official date until 2020, right? And so, and that was Elijah Muhammad's official date too. Because he said they brought us over here in 1555, see? And it took 64 years to convert us to Negro butts. 64 years of conversion to Negro butts. See? 64 years. And so 1555 was the first Negro bus came off a similar line, what they call, what do you call it? That's what they call you, right? See? So the first one's roll off similar line, see? They try, they don't use the N-word anymore. Use it 400 years. All of a sudden, because 1619 to 2019 is, you need to read the Abrahamic covenant. It's in so-called Old Testament, so-called New Testament. It's a covenant that God made with Abraham. He said his seed would be, paraphrasing, his seed would be enslaved and afflicted. You see? So it's two things. They just want to talk about the enslavement part. They want to talk about the afflicted part. That's the Holocaust. They don't talk about that part. See, it's two parts. Read it. It's a contract that applies to you. It's a contract you have that they don't want you to know anything about. And so for 40 years, this would happen. You'd be in a foreign land, see? You'd be in a foreign land and afflicted, enslaved and afflicted 40 years. Then afterwards, God himself would take and punish that nation. These are individuals, because they're trying to watch, my ancestors had nothing to do with this stuff. That nation, these are individuals, that nation, you would punish them, right? And then you would go out with great substance back to your land. See, Farrakhan just talked about the part of affliction, and he don't go about the part return, because he dismissed that. We ain't going nowhere. And that was, that's the underpinning, that's the foundation of Elijah Muhammad's teaching. So he can't say that he is following Elijah Muhammad when that was the whole reason for his teachings. The Abrahamic covenant was going back home. He said, we ain't going nowhere. So he's calling him a liar. He's calling the person that taught him, Master Prophet Muhammad, a liar also. See, that guy's, we going to talk about him. Anyway, so what happened? 1619 to 2019, that's the official date. They're trying to get it right now. And then what happened? It said a plague would come. That would be the first of 10 plagues that would hit, that result in us getting out of here. See, now the first one would be, according to the Seal Bible, right? A plague that would kill the firstborn, which is the same thing as the elderly, because they, but it would pass over. That's why we're just celebrating this so-called Passover. That never happened to them. But the Passover meant that the plague would pass over us, but it would get the Egyptians or our oppressors. And that's exactly what happened. And they knew that, but they didn't want you to know it. And so they went out their way to make sure, because the preachers, they don't tell, the preachers demons anyway. But let me say what a demon is right away. A demon, see this, I don't want to get too far afield here, right? But see, they playing a game with you. All they do is play games with us brothers and sisters, right? Until you stop playing, you figure out what's going on, and you say, oh, I ain't playing that game anymore. Okay, the way they do it now, they say, well, if your father's a Caucasian and you anything but a Caucasian, they don't call you Caucasian. So if your father's Caucasian and you Chinese, your mother's Chinese, well, they still call you Chinese. If your father's Caucasian and your mother's black, well, they still want to call you black. So what is it? I mean, the only way you can be Caucasian, you got to be 100% pure. You see how racist that is by itself? You'll be 100% pure if you want to be a real Caucasian. See? Otherwise, you a mutt. You got to be whatever your mother is, which is biologically totally incorrect. It's biologically totally incorrect. It's a lie. See? It was pushed hard, really hard, was in the fields because they wanted to enslave their own children. See? Because the sperm comes from the father, and that's alive. The egg is not alive. It's living material, but it's not alive. And you can't change the nature. Nothing in the egg can change the nature of that sperm. Sperm comes from father. So you are what your father is. That's the truth of it. That's what the scriptures say. That's what every nation's always said. That's one of the reasons why when a woman and man gets married, he takes the man's name. See, but they twist that around, especially with us. And that is what a demon is, half devil, half man. Because what happened is that they're saying, but those are their children. That's those black face. If they raped a black woman, what they did incessantly, relentlessly, right, for nearly 400 years, and they're still doing it now to a great extent. You just don't understand it, right? They produced a race of demons, hybrids. And they say it was so bad and so insidious that half the blacks in America are demons. They're really their children. They have their natures. They just look like us. That's what the whole scripture about wolves in sheep clothing. See? And also the chaff was sowed amongst the wheat. So the evil one did it. So they corrupted our nation. And if when you understand angel, it tells you that angel, which is called revelation or apostasy, that they corrupt our nation. Our whole nation is corrupt. It's a confusion. Because they're amongst us, but their heart is against us. Their hearts were their fathers. See? And so they cause nothing but confusion and terror amongst our people because they hate us just like their fathers hate us. And they hate you even more because that skin tone. Because they want to get rid of that skin tone. They don't want to be around you. They want to be around their daddies. And but when you in chain slavery, they was in the house. They call them the house Negroes. See? And then we knew not to trust them, but now we're all confused now. They're our brothers. One drop of a black blood makes you black. It don't make you us. See, because FARRAKHAN himself follows the devil. We're going to talk about that too. See, because he's a demon. See, so all this stuff they're hiding from you. See. And so we've been inundated with all this confusion, horror, because that's part of horror, confusion. That's not slavery. Slavery doesn't necessarily have anything to do with confusion. I said we're confused how you're getting paid. So I just want to lay some foundation here, brothers and sisters. See, stuff they don't want you to hear. Everything I say is totally correct. You can just check it out. See? That's biology. You are what your father is. But they switch it around. See? And so that's why the demons can run undercover. See, the world's been under a demon plague for 600 years. But they didn't know it. Because they tell you demons are invisible. And most people don't talk about demons at all, except you see some crazy movie with Bambi, the demon slayer or something. Right? But you know how you talk about it. Because they're around invisible. Why? See? because they was under the radar. They was wolves in sheep clothing in every nation. They did every nation, which caused confusion, because once that crop grew up, it caused confusion in that nation, because now you got two different ideas, you got two different natures. Before you had harmony, because everybody had the same nature, so everybody had harmony, and now you got confusion in every nation. I'm gonna be a Democrat. See, when they didn't have that confusion before, because the demons hardened towards their fathers. And then their fathers used that. This is so bad. See, some of this is just out of just plain lust, especially with us, right? And a lot of it was just premeditated, because they knew by going in and doing the seed, did you see that movie Braveheart? That was all about. See, well, to some extent, because the whole thing is they had that service right, and that's what they applied the same thing to us, right? They had this right, and I can't remember they had the right, they call prima something, right? Where the noble had the right to take the virginity of any of his servants that was getting married. So he would take the virginity of the wife the first night. They call it first night, prima scota, something like that, right? That was his right. So if you wanted to get married, right, then your wife had to sleep with him the first night, right, to take her virginity away. And that's the whole movie Braveheart was about. He said he wasn't going to do that, right? See, and then you see the scene there where the king says, we're going to breed the Scots, we're going to breed Scott out of them. And they had the same official process in Australia, where they was going to breed the Aboriginal out of Aborigines. See? So, in other words, because they knew they would have their nature, and then so forth, they would be kind to them, and they would cause problems for the original people there. And that's what it is. That's why you got confusion all over the world, which you didn't have before. You have world wars and all this kind of stuff, you understand, prior to the Europeans coming out of, you had Genghis Khan came out, that's a whole nother story together, but you had a world wars and stuff like that before that. And part of the reason it inspired Genghis Khan, right, because they was moving up into the Oriental era. That's another story. You heard of Marco Polo, that kind of stuff. Anyway, the bottom line is that wherever they went, they found prosperity, health, wealth, harmony. And when they left, in their wake was hell, disease, poverty, and everything else. So capitalism didn't free anybody out of poverty, like this stupid child. He's talking about, poverty, capitalism freed the world from poverty. Yeah, but you impoverished the world. See? So I just want to lay some background here, brothers and sisters. See? So if you want to continue believing the lie, then that's up to you. See? But that wasn't, slavery was just the mild side of it. It was the Holocaust. So we're going to move into presentation here, brothers and sisters. So give me a chance here. Let's see how I'm going to do this. So this is new features I'm using here, brothers and sisters. So bear with me. I hope it works okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay, there you go. Hold on. What's over here? Okay, new features here. Okay. It's kind of unwieldy, but I guess I'll get through it. Let's see. There you go. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, leave it like that for now. Okay, now talk about these demons. Now, like I said, most people know about these demons. You don't know what a demon is, before I was telling you. And you think that it's something in the seventh dimension and all that kind of stuff, right? No, that's why it was hidden. They tell you to watch out for the demons, wolves in sheep clothing. Also, the chaffs amongst the wheat. Those parables had to be explained. See? So you need someone to come along and break the seals of Revelation or Injil to explain what these things mean. Okay? Let me check something here. So like I said, they went out, when they came out of Europe 600 years ago, let's see here. Okay, when they came out of Europe 600 years ago, see, after being 1,000 years in the pit, we're talking about chapter 20, that's them, that's European history. Just briefly on this, it says there was a resurrection. Now, what they don't tell you, see, I'm going to try to keep this simple, brothers, so like I said, there's so much information here. But they said it was a resurrection. Read chapter 20 again, read again, because it's history. It's not the future millennia. That's part of deception that they would enforce upon the world. They said there was a resurrection. Now, what you don't know is, they're not telling you is that those terrorists that you think are terrorists, those Muslims over there, Mecca, the pilgrimage, the Kaaba, all that stuff. You know where that came from? Abraham. They won't tell you that because they can't step on Abraham. Nobody will touch Abraham. They won't touch Abraham because he walked with God. They won't touch Abraham. They're all claiming to be from Abraham, the false Israel, right? They claim to be the seed of Abraham, right? America claims to be the spiritual seed of Abraham. The Arabs over there, right? They claim to be the seed of Abraham, which they are, but they not the inheritors, because they by Abraham's maid, right? But it was his wife, Sarah, Isaac, that was the inheritor. But that's, everybody's claiming to be the seed of Abraham. Think about that one. Why? Whole world is around that, centered around that idea. See? But they won't tell you that was Abraham's, right? Because he was, right? God elevated him and he built all of that. The Bible tells you he built all the stuff. So where's all the stuff Abraham built if that ain't it? That's part of what it was in. That was his Islamic empire. That's why it calls it resurrection, because they try to tell you Prophet Muhammad built. No, he didn't. That stuff was already there when he was born. In fact, his name wasn't even Muhammad when he was born. Muhammad, the way they name you over there is based on your deeds and everything. So he became praiseworthy. That's what Muhammad means. So he got that name. He got many names. Muhammad's just one of them. See, that stuff was already there. See, they was already doing pilgrimages. The Kaaba was already there, right? Mecca, all that stuff was already there. See, because Abraham has laid it all out. He just resurrected because they had declined into idolatry. See, so they didn't want to tell you that. You never heard that before, have you? I know you don't. Because they're terrorists already. God gonna get them. See? But see, you see the contradiction? Because false Israel was saying, well, they see Abraham, and God's going to save them because of Abraham. But now, you're going to kill all Abraham's people because they are terrorists, they're evil. See the contradiction? Because America's a terrorist nation. They didn't want to spread terror all around the world. There was peace around the world. They what? You came over here on a visa? Terrorized us for 40 years? It's a terrorist nation. They say, woe to those called evil good and good evil. See, what you see over there is a reaction to what they're going over there, just like Iran. Let me keep focused here, because see, you've been told all this stuff, and you don't go research it. See, because when they made you made you Negro butts, you was programmed not to ask any questions, to self-destruct, do whatever Master told you to do, accept everything Master tells you. Except anything he tells you. See? That's what that was your programming. A Negro butt. or if the, made in America. Made in America. So you blame the manufacturer or the product. Because if we ends, you're probably supposed to use that word. Don't use that word in, right? The N word. Well, who made the ends? Maybe they the real ends. Because we're their product. We didn't come over here like that. So they're the real ends. You see? So we call the product branded. See? Toby Richardson. See, and now you walk around with those names, Richardson, Black, Washington. You walk with those names, and you don't know those were names. They were brands to show what master you was owned by. So when you trade to another master, if you was Toby Washington, now you trade to Hamilton, now you're using Toby Hamilton. But you walk around proud of those names because that's where your programming is. You're not supposed to ask questions, you're supposed to accept anything master tell you. They program you that way. Program you to think shit is honey. Oh, you say you don't? What they feed you? Didn't they feed you shitlings back there? Because you know what shitlings is? That's what you should throw away when they slaughter the hog. That's part of their way. That's why I call it shitlings, because that's what it was. And they said, well, we ain't going to throw it away, we're going to give it to them. That's what they gave you to eat. See? And now that you out of there, they want to sell it to you, right? They changed the S to a C. It's still the same thing. It's chillins, because they couldn't, they figured you too dumb. You ain't gonna catch on to that. It's still shitlins, still the same thing. And when you cook it, you know what it is, because you see the shit floating on the water, and you see all the shit there, and you gotta clean it. You even say yourself, I ain't gonna go on Joanne. I ain't gonna eat her shit because she don't clean up good. You can't clean shit, but you saying that because you know that's what it is. But now you eat it up and you think it's honey. Oh man, that's some good shillings. You see what I'm saying? You program to eat shit because that's what they fed us. Because they beasts. So get back to, right? So, like I said, this was spread all over the world. And that's how we got confusion, particularly amongst us. That's why you don't have black on black crime here in America. You might have black on black, but those not the same people. See, you got terror butts against Negro butts. Who's the terror butts? See, those are the demons. They're slave masters' children. See, they put amongst us, right, to terrorize us, to keep us confused, to report on us. See, and they would be the ones that choose to beat us and everything else. And we recognized them when we was back in the field, but now we don't recognize them anymore because they're there to make sure. See, their whole job was to keep you in line, to report on you, and to serve as a role model for how you're supposed to act. And then you was like a incentive because you was in the field and you saw them in the house. See, they was in the house because they were slave master children. He could trust them because the only problem they had with him is that he wasn't treating them like the rest of his children. But if they got you in there, you might cut his throat. So they say, "Hey man, if you work hard, keep your nose clean, right? You can be like them. You can be like Denzel. You can be like Oprah. See, you can be like Chris Rock. You can never be like them. See, because you're a fish out of water. They're fish in water. You're a fish out of water. This is not your nature. This whole side is totally against you. All this transgender and all this kind of stuff. That's totally against your nature. And they know it. That's why they never going to let you on TV talking like I'm talking. They ain't going to let anywhere near. The last time they made that mistake was with Malcolm. And they said, man, let that happen again. So in other words, you have people on TV, they talking for you, but they ain't you. And so they spent all world think, oh man, they love it over there, man. They happy. Because they ain't going to let the real people, something like me, talk. Or they might let FARRAKHAN talk because he sold you out. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Because he's a demon himself. All you got to do is Google his bio. It tells you his father's the devil. His father's name is Percival Clark. And they even show you a picture of him. See, he ain't you. See, he's for them. So anyway, I want to go deeper into this. I just want to lay some foundation here. See, but you got this so-called black on black crime. No, you got them against us. We don't kill, we don't steal, we don't lie, we don't cheat. It's against our nature. The Bible tells us there's two natures. There's one nature, right, where you have a righteous nature. There's two types of people on this planet. One has a righteous nature, one has an evil nature. One says one nature is about adultery and fornication and stealing and lying, and that's America. All those things, if you read that verse, all those things talk about is here. That's the culture of America. But you can't see it. Why? Because you let the demons blind you. But your eyes are going to be open in a minute because your God's getting ready to short circuit your programming. See? You let these demons blind you. It's like they blind you with the scriptures. They tell you scriptures is hindsight. No, it's foresight. That's what I call prophecy. See? Because if you know it was foresight, then your eyes would be open. Because now you see right now, this actually happened a long time ago. See? And I talked to this brother, I guess he Hebrew Israelite or something, right? And he could concede it that all these things happen right now is just like impossible. He said, history repeats itself. In other words, this is just similar to what happened in the past. I mean, what's wrong with us? No, it's what's happening right now. It says God will come after come, right? It says that's the Abrahamic covenant. He would come. He raised up Moses, Elijah. He would go for 40 some years. That's how long he went. And then he would go back to God, right? And he'd leave Aaron behind. And he would go about 40 years deceiving and confusing the people, having worshiped the golden calf. And then when Joshua, which same name is Jesus, see, because only a few people left when Moses returned, right? So that'd be, and he would be the one, because that same name is Jesus. It's just that same. In Greek is Jesus, in Hebrew is Joshua, same name. Then he would be the one to take you home. But before he did that, he had to take and remove all the demons out, because then he had to go to war with Aaron, and he had to slaughter all Aaron's people. That's right there. But they tell you, and Elijah Muhammad told you that's happening now. But Pharaoh, no, man, because if he said, what else going to say? Because he's Aaron. He's Aaron. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. See, I got quite a few things I want to cover here. But like I said, bear with me. I'm still trying to get used to this. What's going on here? See. Still trying to get used to this technology here. Am I going the right way here? Okay, hold on. Okay. Where is it? I haven't heard. Oh. Trying to get used to technology, brothers and sisters. Bear with me. Bear with me here. There was something. Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, I'm going to bring up some verses, because we don't distort. We don't make up verses here, right? We don't do that. See, we might paraphrase a little bit, but we show where the verses are. Now, we don't always read the whole thing, right? But we want you to read the whole thing, show that we ain't trying to pull something over on you. We don't do that here. Okay, there you go. So right here, this is Mark. Now I'm just paraphrasing here. The book of Mark. Now it's talking about demons there. See. Now, Farrakhan trying to tell you, see, because he's on the run, he's trying to tell you that, well, demons are a personal flaw. No, they're not real. But yet still, Jesus dealt with real people. Remember, because the demon says, he's talking to Jesus. This is a personal flaw. He's talking to Jesus, right? Or Joshua. He says, please don't make me lead a country and stuff like that, right? And then he wants to go with swine daddies and all that kind of stuff, right? Let me read a little bit of this, right? They came to the other side of the sea into the region of, when he got out of the boat, talking about Jesus, immediately a man from the tombs with unclean spirit, that's what Revelation called a demon, right? Met him. He lived among the tombs, and no one was able to bind him anymore, nor even with a chain. In other words, so he wasn't enslaved, he wasn't in chains anymore at this time. So he's out of chains. See? Because he's talking about us. Right? He's talking about, but you got two groups of us. You got the Levites and you got the Shabbat. So I'm not going to make that distinction here today. I will make it another time. So I'm just going to say just us. Because you got two groups here. Right? One's referred to as the gold and one's referred to silver. But anyway, he's supposed to talk about the Levites here. Right? And that boils down to the Nation of Islam, those who follow Elijah Muhammad. Right? Okay. And because he had been bound with shackles and chains, and the chains had been torn apart by him, and the shackles broken to pieces, and no one was able to subdue him. Constantly, night and day, he was screaming amongst the tombs and the mountains and cutting himself with stones. In other words, he was self-destructive. He was beating himself. Okay? And that's pretty much how black folks are right now in America. They're self-destructive. See? Remember I said that's part of programming. Self-destruct. We work against ourselves. See? But I tell you later on, this is because the demons, the reason why this is happening. The demons is causing this to happen to him. See? Because you think it's black on black crime, because you think those are your people, so now you hate them. See, oh, these black folks. But then, see, when you understand they're demons, you understand that your people just look like you. See, if you understand that they're really not sheep, there's wolves that look like sheep, then all of a sudden, your eyes open, and now you know to deal with what you got to do. You got to get rid of them. Because they make you hate yourself. Because, man, and he just did this to me. See, I hate black people, man. All they do is they attack each other. That's what they say all around the world. We just beat each other and everything else. No, we're not doing that. See, it's the demons that's causing that. But they went undercover for 600 years because they wasn't visible. And nobody knew who they were, so I explained it to you. And that's what's causing confusion all around the world. And then they use that, America specifically used that as a reason to go and attack another country. See, man, they're oppressing these people. Like they did in Libya, right? Because there's some people in there that was against Gaddafi, but pro-America, so they gave them to go in there and destroy Gaddafi, all those people. You see, they use that excuse. They do all over the place in Iraq and everywhere. Say, oh man, they're oppressing their people over there. See? They oppress the people, they're demons that think like them. What about the other people there? The majority of people was like that. See? And then they call them dictators. Oh man, them dictators. See? But then I noticed they had a news report yesterday talking about how so-called Saudi Arabia, that's another story together, how they how Saudi Arabians dissing Biden and all that kind of stuff, right? But they didn't want to call, what's his name, Sultan, or what's his name? They didn't want to call him a dictator, see, because they're getting money from him. See, he's they call him some other name, right? He's a strong man or something. See, but dictators. Remember, it said the world's going to make war against God. But then you ask yourself, why do you hate dictators so much? You see anything about democracy in the Bible? What did God say? He said kingdoms. God set up kingdoms and kings that they're on his authority. That's what the Bible says. That's why they call the kingdoms. And they tell you you're supposed to obey not the prince president, you're supposed to obey the king. That's what the Bible tells you. See? And then Jesus, right? Wait a minute. What did Jesus say? He say, I'm a Democrat, and you can vote for me in November, right? And I pledge to do all things you want me to do, you know, and learn all things I can do for you. Is that what he said? Or he say, I'm the way, I'm the light, I'm going to be your God forever. If you piss me off, I'm going to send your ass to hell forever and ever and ever. Wait a minute, which one did he say? That means Jesus you're talking about. Which one did he say? That sounds like a dictator to me. But they hate dictators, see? Well, it says you got to start weighing these things. You got to start asking questions. Because something's wrong. See? Because they hate the system that God set up. They hate Jesus himself because he's the one that set those systems. That's his system. And they hate it. They're attacking anybody that tries to have a system like that. Because they're dictators. They're evil. They're wicked. See? But think about it, brothers and sisters. Anyway, so this man, we go to the next one here. See? Oh. So bear with me, brothers and sisters, like I said. I'm getting used to this. Got a couple of things going here. Okay. And seeing Jesus from a distance, he ran up and bowed down before him. Now, is this demon-possessed man, right? He wants to bow down to Jesus. Watch what happens here now. He recognizes, he wants to bow down because he hears his truth. Because remember, that's how Jesus is going to destroy the son of perdition, which is a demon, right? With the spirit of his mouth. So now, he's seeing it from this. He sees, hey, I recognize him. And then what happened, right? And shouting with a loud voice, he said, what business you have with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High? In other words, this person, well, we're going to find out is Legion in a minute. He butts in right away and stops. He put the kibosh on it. Bam, yay, stop this. He stops the man. He stops the whole process. He said, what business you got here? And he recognized who Jesus is. He recognized him, right? But he put a squat. He don't want, hey, stop that. See, because, right? See? Because he see the man going to submit to him, but he stopped, hey, wait, hold, well, stop this. So he has some authority over this man. See? You see that in a minute. So, Son of Most High. And then, immediately, see? He's outdone. Because soon, like I said, it says, son of perdition, right? Who the Lord will consume with spirits of mouth and destroy with his appearance. So now he was speaking, so the man recognized him, and then once he appears before Legion is destroyed. See, because he started begging, I implore you, by God, do not torment me. You better read it again, brothers and sisters. You do not torment me because he's scared now. See, because he's in the process of being destroyed. Because he don't call out, he makes him identify, he exposes them. He don't expose, listen. See, for he had already been saying to him, come out of the man, you unclean spirit, or you demons. See? So he was trying to separate because he's trying to, this demon some kind of personal flaw. No, he's separating them out from us. That's what I said. That's the problem. They have to be separated out from us. Because they didn't want to cause all the problems. It's like a checkerboard, right? It's like a checkerboard, right? You have the black squares and the white squares. And all the black squares surrounded by white squares. See? So the white squares are demons, and they're keeping us divided and terrorizing us. Because that's their purpose. Their purpose is to terrorize. That's what I call them terror butts. To keep terror in the community, keep us in fear. That was their job in the fields, to keep us in fear master. And also to make sure we stay programmed. Because all of a sudden you see you asking questions. Stuff. Hey, what's wrong with that one? What's wrong with that Negro butt over there? He's asking questions. Something wrong. Oh, he's going back and forth, one around circle. So they got to run in here and they got to either rewrite your programming, reboot you, right? Or get you, if they can't get you back online, right? Then they deactivate you. Think about what that means. Move to the next one, brothers and sisters. And he asked him, see, he exposed him. He exposed the demon out. He said to him, he said, what is your name? And the demon says, my name is Legion. Now, what does the Legion mean? Now, we got somebody named, think about this, Legion, Legion. Louis Eugene Grounds, an NOI backwards. He turned the NOI all the way backwards. And Louis Eugene Grounds is FARRAKHAN's name. See, he wants to get away from that G part. Oh, no, man. My last name was Walcott. His mother was not married to Walcott when he was born. She was married to another man. His mother was married to Percival Clark. But she was, they weren't divorced, right? See? Well, let me back up. She wasn't even married to him. See? But she was living with him. At least that's what Farrakhan says. But then the way he tells stories so many ways. Another time he says that Percival Clark raped his mother, and that's why she was trying to abort him. And then he slipped up. He slipped up in his little swine song. To my swan song, his swine song. It said he slipped up on that one. It says, well, you know, she tried to abort me because she was wondering how I would look. Think about that one. Now go back and check out what he said. She was wondering how I would look. Now she's supposed to be a black woman. Now, why would a woman abort a child if she's wondering how he would look unless she was a crack baby or something, you know she's messed up. Back then he had that stuff. So why would she wonder how he would look? Because she knows she's raped by a white man. And she was afraid he might come out looking white. So she tried to abort him 3 times. He slipped up and said that one. He slipped up and said a lot of things, right? On that big shit show he had, 5-hour shit buffet. Because he didn't say nothing about anything meaningful, right? Okay, so that's his name, Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards. Is that a coincidence, brothers and sisters? See, he says, my name is Legion, and we are many, many demons. And I go into the story about Peter and all that kind of stuff to explain, but I'm not going to all that here today, brothers and sisters. See? And he begged him, right, earnestly, to not send them out of the country or region. Here's translated region, most translated says country. Please don't send me out of the country. Because what Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. He don't want to leave. Because he know he ain't got no place for us. They want to stay here because they're demons. They want to stay. Remember about integration? See, there was 2. Some people want to separate, get the hell away from these beasts. Other people, I want to integrate. Why do you want to integrate with these? Because you're one of them. See? So he started begging, please don't send me out of the country. And there was large herd of pigs or swine, right? And the bottom line is where it says is, he said, send me over with them. I want to stay here with my swine daddies, beasts. And so he sent them over them. You need an angel to understand what that's all about, right? Because that's a demon war that's going to take place. It's called Locust War. And he sent them over there, and they get to fight with each other and run off the cliff together and drown. See? You need to know the angel key to understand that part because it's beautiful. That's there. I explained that in another presentation, right? When I talk about the angel, that's beautiful. And those of you familiar with angel, you know what I'm talking about, right? Those of you studying it, right? Because remember I was telling you how, right, that once they separated, right, then they get to fight with each other, right? And then the flood comes. Brother and sister, you're gonna get with the angel in a few more days. You're gonna get with it in a few more days. Because that's your mind. Just has you give your mind back. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Okay. So now it says, now I implore you, brothers, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our gathering together unto him, for you not quickly be shaken in mind, nor to be troubled neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, if by us, and that the day of the Lord is present. No one should deceive you in any way, because it is not until the apostasy or the falling away, right? It's a falling away should have come first, and the man of lawlessness shall be revealed. A man. Now, Farrakhan, I tell you, oh, that represents the Jews, a bunch of people. It's talking about an individual, right? Shall be revealed. The son of destruction. Some say son of addition, son of destruction, right? The one opposing, exalting himself above and every so-called God and object of worship, and so far as set him down in the temple of God, setting forth that he himself is God. Now, that's a lot to unpack there, and you need to understand the angel, key to really understand it. But bottom line, that falling away, it says, that falling away had to come first. And they say, where's the falling away? People fall in Christianity are talking about that. That's the falling away when Elijah Muhammad departed. So he was taken. And then the whole fall fell away, because that's the whole story about John the Baptist. Remember, he was beheaded, and then, right, his whole organization fell apart. That's what I'm talking about, right? Okay. And it says, remember, now this person, he won't be sitting in the synagogue. He won't be sitting in the church. He's sitting in the temple. Elijah Muhammad had temples. Talking about Farrakhan, the chief demon legion. He would take over after Elijah Muhammad left, after falling away, because they destroyed the Nation of Islam. They got rid of it. And a lot of people died. They destroyed a lot of people. He has apologized for that. He rebuilt the Nation of Islam. He didn't build anything. I was there. It's like tearing down the Empire State Building or Sears Tower and then building up a college and then say, well, I rebuilt it. Really? He ain't built a damn thing. That's what he's saying. He ain't built anything. See? And thousands, tens of thousands of people lost everything. I was one of them. See? I was living in the Nation of Islam, because all this wasn't Elijah Muhammad's name. That was one of the problems they had, because when he departed, all his things in the Nation of Islam, it was in people's name, and they couldn't get at it. His family was trying to get at it. They couldn't get at it. But Farrakhan, because he was a top guy, he had standing, and he stood back and let Wallace, who was officially out, he was thrown out of the nation. Thrown out. Couldn't be about his family, anything, and all of a sudden he's in charge. See, I'm not going into all that detail. But the thing is that they got rid of it. Started a thing called the Balalians. They got rid of all of it. I was standing in the Native Islam complex. They had a whole complex of building, everything right across the street from the school. I can't remember the name of the school. On 87th Street, I believe it was. Right? Beautiful. Beautiful. And it wasn't high rent. Like I said, Elijah Muhammad didn't, right? Because he built something for the people. So I stayed in. No, I mean, he had a lot of housing projects. But I stayed in that one. Beautiful. Right? I got my card through the Nation's Bank. I was a foreman at Muhammad Sikh newspaper, night shift. You know? I bought my food at your supermarket and fish at the fish market, our fish market. If I wanted to go out, we wanted to go out to dinner or something, we went to a restaurant. I mean, I had no contact with Europeans at all. Had none, zero. And then all of a sudden, he got charged, they destroyed everything. They got rid of all of it overnight. And not only that, they burned up all his books and everything else. They actually burned all that stuff up. And Farrakhan was bad-mouthing Elijah Muhammad like you wouldn't imagine. And we got him on tape doing it. But he had a problem. And you know, a lot of people went back to jail because a lot of people was out. Remember Malcolm X said the only reason he got out because he was paroled because he was in the Nation of Islam. Thousands of people ended up going back. Some people somebody just died. Some people was homeless and everything else. Supreme Captain, Brother Raymond Sharif, man, they said, brother told me he saw him run down the street with a car all jacked up, it was all raggedy car and everything else. They did a job. And nobody cared. They didn't care about those people. They didn't say, these people gave their lives to this and they destroyed it like it was nothing. And they shit on everybody. And they're going to come out. Really? They was for us, really? Farrakhan? And then when everything went south, when they finally got the hell of their money, He thought he was getting peace. They gave him nothing. So he ran because they had people looking for him. So he ran and hid in Arizona. So he trying to get back on the stage to do calypso, shake his ass for massa. That's what he was doing. Now call me a liar. Call me a liar. I was there. He want to get back on stage and shake his ass for massa. So he ain't fooling me. See? So now he calls himself Son of Man. He's anointed. He's all this. He's putting himself above everybody. And he ain't nothing. He's a piece of shit. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm not going to read all this, brothers and sisters. But if you read on yourself, this is Mark again, right? Bottom line is that Jesus get the demons away from him, send them back to swine days, right? So now the man, and then he gives the man's mind back. See, your mind's been taken away from you, been programmed to be a Negro butt. So your mind was taken away from you. That's the same story in Daniel where the lion had the eagle wings plucked off of him, and then his mind had to be given back to him. See, your mind's been taken away from you. See? And the angel is your mind, and we're trying to give it back. We're going to give it back to you because your program's, see, it's going to take fear to short circuit your programming. Because all this religious stuff and everything, that's not appeal to your mind. They didn't install that on your mind. They installed on your heart. Because your mind would never accept that bullshit. It's like this Noah story. Your mind would never say, if you think about it for a few minutes, say, wait, hold it. You know how many animals there are on the planet? So Noah's, where I don't care where he was, in Africa, Asia, wherever, right? Where's he going to come over to China to get a panda, get 2 pandas? He's going to go over to Australia to get 2 kangaroos? And the ark would have to be biggest, it would have to be at minimum the size of New Jersey, the whole state of New Jersey, to fit all those animals on it. You know how long it would take if you had have 10,000 people work with him? It would take like at least 10,000 years to do all that. And then what happened? The first animals you put on there, they're going to live that long while he's trying to get all these other animals? And then they're going to be mating? Who's feeding them? We got food to feed all of them. There's millions of animals on the planet. We ain't talking about the fish because they're in the water already, so we can give a pass on that one. Remember, he even had birds on there. That story on the face is just bullshit totally. And then we don't go to the master bags about the water. Because he said the water was high enough to cover the mountains. You know how much water that is? That'd be more substance than the size of the moon. So where'd that water go? That where it even come from? We can go on about this stuff, but you believe it. So anyway, the man gets his mind back. See, and you stop beating yourself and everything, because that's what. See, Jesus' first war is going with these damn demons, because that's our major problem right now. All this stuff going on, Armageddon is on the horizon. Believe me, it's going to hit you this year. That stuff in Ukraine, everything, that's not Armageddon. That just falls in the category of wars and rumors of wars. See, they got you all discombobulated about it. So you don't worry about that stuff, because that's what it is. It's wars and rumors of war. But the war that's actually going to kick off Armageddon is going to take place in the Middle East. That's chapter 12, where Michael's angels go against the dragon's angels, right? And the dragon angels are defeated. The dragon's angels is talking about the House of Saud, America, Britain, and false Israel. They're going to be defeated. That's going to blow your mind when that happens. See, that fear, when that happens, you see, that's going to short circuit your program, because that ain't supposed to happen. Especially false Israel going down, because if they shoot Abraham, that cannot happen. That's impossible. Because when they return, they're supposed to return in peace and never be displaced again. But they're going to be. And when that happens, that's going to blow your mind, and that's going to short circuit your programming. See? And that war will trigger Armageddon. Which Armageddon is a European war. See? You got the apocalypse. Apocalypse is the whole thing. Armageddon is just one phase of it. The war in the Middle East is just one phase of it. The war in the latter days, that's one phase of it. The apocalypse covers the whole thing. Okay. So anyway, he gets mind back. See? But what happens? Then he wants to leave when Jesus is departing. See? That's a story about when Michael takes to deliver. He only delivered those in the Lamb's Book of Life. And then those later, and then the ones that sleep in the dust, they wake up. Now they end up going to hereafter too, but they got to go through tribulation. They got to go the scenic route. Because Michael only delivers those who are in the Lamb's Book of Life. And then it says, after that, then men sleep in the dust, some in everlasting life, some in everlasting shame and department. But they got to go to tribulation. They ain't delivered. See, because remember, when he delivers, it's time of unprecedented trouble. So he's delivering you out of it. But they got to go through it. See? So now he wants to go, and Jesus, no, you can't go. You got to go back and sit in this. See? Because why? See? Make sure I got. Why? Because he was deceived by lying FARRAKHAN. FARRAKHAN had him worship the golden calf and all that kind of stuff. See? So they failed. See, Elijah Muhammad raised them up, but then they failed. So now they got to go make up. See? Because what happened? What happened to the demons that were with FARRAKHAN? It says that when Joshua came back and Moses came back, right? They separated all the demons from them, including Aaron, and then they slaughtered all Aaron and all his people, all the demons with him. You better read it again. That's happening now, not something happened in the past. Because when Jesus confronted them, he says, "Know the truth, and truth shall make you free." They say, "Yeah, we still not. We ain't never been enslaved by anybody. That was supposed to happen 2,000 years ago." And they say, this X is supposed to happen 4,000 years ago. They said, this has never happened. And Jesus didn't argue with them about it. So they tell you that never happened. But they try to tell you now that it happened. But now all of a sudden they want to be nice to you. So I'm not going into details here because I said I'm going to keep this down to, I want to keep this down to an hour, right? See? But now, because they got two minds, two trains of thought here. See? Because when 2020 came in, they knew what it meant. They don't want you to know what it means. So now they got two options: to get rid of you, or try to sweet talk you out of this thing. Try to talk the way out of it. Try to get you to make a side deal, reparations. See? So in other words, you accept that as payment for. Because if you accept that as payment for what happened to you, then you turn this whole thing into a civil case, basically. So then God has no. You accept payment, because right now, right, your payment is the promised land. And their punishment is what they did. But now you accepting this reparations thing, which most you down with, because the demons are sold it to you. Then, well, God, why can't I mean you accepted that? I'm really kind of like really blowing over that one because I talked in much more detail in the one presentation I did yesterday about reparation. You need to read it. Anyway, so he wasn't allowed to go. He had to go to the Senate route. Read Mark. See, some of you brothers and sisters. So, just talking about sub-addition again. See. See, it says, a son of addition, he said Elijah's seat. See, but it says Suleiman will come, that's Joshua. Right? He will come and say, revealing, because nobody revealed to you who Legion was before. Nobody revealed who the demons were. You didn't know who they were. Now it'll be revealed to you. It said that would be consuming him. He's getting weaker. They're getting weaker and weaker over there. And plus, he got 2 feet in the grave. But he's not going to die. Not yet. Because he got a couple more things. You don't know the prophecy, but he got a couple more things he got to deal with that he's not going to like. Right? See? And so it says that Suleiman will come, the Lord will come and just consume him. That's what's happening now. And then he'll be destroyed. See? And all those with him, they're perishing too. The demons, because they didn't have no love for the truth. They tell you, they have no love for the truth. I don't know if I can make this any larger. They had no love for the truth. Hold on, brother. Let me see something here. Yeah. They had no love for the truth. See? Because the scripture is truth right there. But they're not reading the scripture. They listen to what T.J. Jakes telling them what it means. He's a demon. See? He wants some money. You getting this truth. Nobody's asking you for anything. I've never asked for a penny. I've been doing it for 30 years. I've never taken a penny from anybody. I don't ask for a penny. Because it says, read Revelation, it said to be a free gift. A free gift. You already earned it, brother and sister. You went through 40 years of Holocaust. Went through 40 years of hell. So it's really not a free gift in a way because you paid for it already. But when you see Suleiman come away, it'd be like a free gift because he ain't asking for anything. And he's explaining all this stuff to you clearly because this is very clear. Nothing is complicated. It's very clear. See? And you can go back and check it. Not like Farrakhan's philosophies and all this kind of stuff. Teaches Scientology and Sunniism and all that kind of stuff, right? It's a free gift. Anybody's working with the angel that knows me, that's working with the angel, tell you. I refuse to tell them what to do. I say be faithful to the message. That's it. Be faithful to the message. Because you already a holy, righteous people. Don't listen to Farrakhan tell you you're wicked, you're evil, you're sinful. He's talking about himself and his people. His demons, his terror butts. The scriptures tell you, Elijah Muhammad told you that, Master Muhammad told you, you're righteous people. The only thing you've been thrown into a cesspool. You've been thrown into a shit pool. So you cover with shit. So am I. Because we over here in America, we cover with shit. But a Shah would do the job. That's what it says Suleiman or the man, son of the messenger of the covenant will come full of soap. Because the Shah would do the job. But the demons and Farrakhan them, they full of shit. Shah will not help them. So they're trying to drag you down with them. That's their whole job. Is to watch you, terrorize you, to put fear in you, to rip you off, to take everything from you, because that's what they've been doing. He been asking for money economic program for 40 some years. You see the economics anywhere? You see him with his pre-jeweled dresses and his big designer glasses. That's why he's shitting and pissing in the bag, disemboweled. Because it says in Malachi, it says, will a man rob God? Who are they talking about? They're talking about the messenger of the covenant, and somebody in between who's robbing this whole, they said, you're robbing this whole nation. Now, it can't be me. I ain't asked for any money. It can't be Elijah. It could be Master Muhammad. So who's robbing this nation? Who's living off of it? Who's going to have economic money? Who's using their sisters doing fundraisers to send them so he could go gallop down or plant? That's what he do. He pimping these sisters out. I was over there. He got his sisters doing fundraisers because his males ain't doing any damn thing. They ain't selling that shit bag that he called Final Call, that rag. They don't want to do anything. He can't give himself. When we Elijah Muhammad, I was with Elijah Muhammad from 70 to 75. See? First class FOI. I left the military to get with him. And you sold 300 papers a week or your ass was out of there. 300 per week. They couldn't get these guys to sell 300 in 100 years. They can't get them to sell one paper a week. They be begging them. But they got sisters out there, right? And now he revealed in his swine song that he's sleeping half of them. You can't make this stuff up, brothers and sisters. Okay, we move on. We're pretty much about to close this out, brothers and sisters. Anyway, read this about Thessalonians. See? So those would they have no love for truth. So they're deceived by him. Well, it's easy, because if all you gotta do is study what Elijah Muhammad said, read the lessons, and you know damn well that ain't him. He ain't teaching that stuff. You know, they had this coattail program, whatever, FBI thing. It's on his own site. And they had a whole bunch of bullet points that FBI wanted. In the plan they had, and that this is what they wanted to implement once Elijah Muhammad departed. See? And I'm a paraphrase, right? One, stop this race hatred. In other words, don't call devils anymore. Click, got that one, right? Stop the nation building. Boop, got that one. He ain't building no nation, right? What was the other one? I can't remember all of them. Maybe it come to me. That was two of them. Stop the race hatred. Oh, oh yeah. Turn into a self-help organization, right? Scientology, Sunniism, and I call them out because they listen. They listen. See, they running from this. You think they didn't listen? They are. So he tried to back off of that one because I hit him on the economic thing, right? See, well, yeah, because he's begging money for 40-some years. Economic, he haven't done anything. So then they came back and says, well, we ain't really doing about economics, man. We about self-help. What do you say? Say less. Okay, I'm gonna just hit on this for a minute, brothers and sisters. See, Master Muhammad, we was all totally messed up when he showed up. Ignorant totally, had no knowledge of anything. So he got us into school. Basic kindergarten or maybe, first grammar school, whatever, right? And then, so he took one stage. Elijah took to the next stage. See, like when you go to school, you go to kindergarten, you go to first grade, second grade, you go to grammar school, then you go to high school, go to college, right? See, the reason I'm saying is because I want to point out about, see, because remember, Jesus didn't want none of John's followers, didn't want them. See, because that's why he didn't want them. See, he didn't want none of Elijah's followers. See, and so as of today, that door is closed. The door was open for a while, it's closed as of today. That's why I'm talking about this, right? So Elijah took the next stage. So when you go to school, right? So now, say for instance, you finish grammar school. Now you got your grammar school books, right? Now you're gonna go to high school with your grammar school books and say you're gonna demand that you be taught your high school stuff from your grammar school books. You're gonna demand. I want to be taught my high school studies from my grammar school book. Who would do some dumb shit like that? Oh, he used that word. Who would do some dumb shit like that? I mean, are you totally retarded? Who would do something as stupid as that? Man, that's stupid. Yeah, man, that's crazy, ain't it? That's dumb. I mean, who would do something dumb like that, right? See, or you're going to college, you're going to demand your grammar school, your high school books, right? You're going to demand that they use that in college. You want to only be taught from there. Who would do something as stupid as that? Ain't that what these folks doing? I got Mrs. Black Man. You can't tell me nothing else. Ain't that what Sunni's doing? I got the Quran. But what happened to Abraham's book? Didn't Abraham have a book? Why it's not around anymore? Because it's not relevant anymore. See? Muhammad told you they write history every 25,000 years. So what happened to all that history? Because it's not relevant anymore. They say, I'm so and they don't know what's happening right now. You ask, they couldn't tell you. First of all, they can't explain to you what the Bible's really saying. They don't know anything about Revelation. They haven't broke the seals. I have. They haven't. I prove it. Right? They can't tell you anything. They didn't catch COVID, which was easy call, 1619. If you understood anything by Elijah Muhammad taught, it was an easy call. He would have been here to call that right on time. 1619 to 2019 would be 400 years. 2020 would be a plague that would kill the firstborn and pass over us. And that's exactly what happened on time. They didn't see it. They ran to the brick wall at 2,022 miles, not 20 miles an hour like everybody else. Royals, Silas, Farm, all of them, Preacher, DAJs, all of them. No, so it's right there. And it got 9 more places that's going to start kicking off this year. I've been telling you all about them. Also, I've been telling you in advance. But that's what I'm saying. The Sunni's saying the same thing. I got the Quran, man. Don't tell me. I don't hear nothing else, man. That's the last book, last revelation. Really? How come you don't know what y'all confused over there? How you not having that victory in 500 years? See, that's dumb shit. Totally dumb. See? So the angel and Daniel was specifically sealed, it tells you, for the last days, for a time of unprecedented trouble. That's why Revelations or angels call it apocalypse. Because it was designed for that book to get you through this time of unprecedented trouble. Not the message of black man, not the Quran, none of that stuff. I'll leave it there, brothers and sisters. Oh, well, before I do that, well, I think it's on the next page, and I think we're going to close out. Oh, well, it wasn't, but anyway, let's talk about this for a second. You see here? That's Farrakhan's father on the left. Percival Clark. See? That's his father. Check it out. Google it. Check it. That's father. So he tried to say, well, see, he didn't reveal that while Elijah Muhammad was around. He revealed it afterwards. See? Because if you go, and I should have clued that here, but if you go and do a Google on Elijah, Farrakhan said his father, his parents, I think if you just Google it, Farrakhan says his parents may be a Jew, maybe Jewish. Right? You get it. You got an article that he now this is interview he did, but this is a critique of the interview he did, because the original interview was with I think the New York Post. I think what it was. It'll tell you in there, right? And so in there he says, right? He says that his father's parents were Portuguese Caucasians, probably Jewish. He said he used to when he was growing up, he used to like to listen to these Jewish things on TV or the radio or something. That's what he's saying. So if his father's parents were Caucasian, Portuguese, his father had to be. See? So he says it right there. He makes it clear. So he talk about it. But then, later, since I've been exposing his ass, now he trying to get out of it. Well, if I was a straight-haired Jamaican, well, Jamaican's your nationality. See, they buy anything he said, because they idolaters. See, idolaters, they don't care what the statues say, they just care how it looks. Dogs don't care, because I don't care if I say something or not. If it says something, that'd be even more something. But they only care how it looks. So Farrakhan, he looks cute. Because that's why you see, look how cute he is. I mean, you got one man talking about another man. Look how cute he is. Look how handsome. I said, man, these people are sick. I'm leaving that alone, brothers and sisters. Man. You're going to wake up in a minute. When you wake up, you're going to wake up a big headache, because you're going to realize that 99.9. No, that's getting them a break. 100%, 150% of what they've told you since you've been here, you've been told a lie. All of it. And you think you get news and stuff, brothers and sisters, you don't understand how propaganda works. All this stuff, like the Ukraine thing, see? They ain't telling the truth about that. I did a whole presentation about that, what that's all about. That's all about oil. They're trying to get rid of, what they're trying to do is attack on Sunnism, basically, or Islam in general, right? Because Arabia is the home of icons and all of Islam, right? Mecca and Medina, the Pilgrim, and everything else. They're trying to shut it down. But see, it's not propped up by prayers and prayer rugs it's propped up by oil. Because if they had no oil, they got nothing but sand. Anybody going in for sand, they ain't gonna have no money to do anything, no pilgrim, anything. It's all dead, and people they're gonna be broke. And where's all the money at? The money's here in America. That they've been spending. They did the same thing in Iran. So you think Iran's terrorist? They don't understand. I'm gonna say this quickly because I want to close this out. Iran was a democratic nation back in the 50s. Go check it out and take my word for it. See? But the British was in there, British Petroleum, BP, ever heard of them? They was in there and they developed their oil supply, so they figured that they belonged to them. So they was taking all the oil and the Iranians wouldn't get nothing out of it. So the president said, no, but they nationalized it and said, that's our oil. So Britain ran to America. America sent the CIA there. They got rid of that guy and they put the Shah. You talk about dictators? He's prime dictator. See? He oppressed those people mercilessly for 30, 40 years. See, they finally got rid of him. He was telling America it's cheap oil. And they was putting all the money back in American banks. And so when they got rid of him, they set this thing up. So they was taking hostages. Okay, they took hostages. They didn't kill anybody. But that was the reason for America to call them a terrorist nation. Now, forget about what they did, America was doing to them for 30-some years under the Shah. But they took hostages. Terrorists! They were... See? And you bought it. And then when the Shah came over here to get the money, they wouldn't let them in the country. Carr wouldn't let them in the country. So he went to Egypt and Sadat gave him sent him, because he had cancer, he died over there. Because he couldn't go back to Iran. So that gave him shelter. He was a black man in Egypt. Remember, Egypt, all white folks. How come a black man was running the country? Boy, it's so much bullshit. So they got trillions of dollars of Iranian money. So that means they got to offer nothing, free. So wouldn't you be pissed off? But they don't tell you that part. They're a terrorist nation. They hate America. They don't tell you the whole truth. They don't tell the truth about the one Vietnam either. You know, Ho Chi Minh, he was a Democrat. He studied in America. They don't tell you the whole story. See, this is pretty much the same kind of situation going with the French, and that's another story. Anyway, they don't tell you the whole story. They lie about everything. It's like Osama was saying the whole thing about that. Anyway, that's what happened. Maybe tomorrow I do talk about all those different things because you call it conspiracy theory. And so they talk about, well, they trying to make this JCPOA deal, and they say Rand may get $1 billion out of it. They say, oh, money they give it back to them. Then they keep it over here. And that's the same thing they plan on doing in Saudi Arabia. That's why you got people like Bin Laden, all those people was highly educated people. They weren't people that was homeless and stupid, didn't know anything, had no education, because they know that's the scheme. Because they're trying to get Saudi Arabia to use it. That's why they close every place. Look at all the places that all producers in the world. They close them all down. They sanction them everything. So only place that you can get oil from is Saudi Arabia. America even closed this down. It's got all this oil. So why? So they can use up all the Saudi Arabia because they figure they can maybe 5 or 10 more. So they want to use it fast. So they tell us, so pump more. Why would you pump more oil over there? Why you want them to pump more oil? You say it's climate. Well, hell, if they pump, still we on the same planet, ain't we? They're trying to get them used all up because once it's all gone, they have nothing, and then they're on their knees. And then what happened is you got the Christian community over there, right? They're going to take and support them and get them everything they want. Then they're going to end up having control. Same thing that's what Israel did over to the Palestinians. Then they know they run the country. You got rid of Islam. You shut it down. That's the whole plan. Where's all the money? It's over here in America. That's what we call a petrodollar. You don't understand any of this? And you think that let me tell you about plans they got for us. 22 million babies born, already aborted. Margaret Singer. I'm move on. Everything I say you can check out. Everything I say you can check it out. See, it's there, but you listen to it. You're so busy watching NFL and NBA, whatever that stuff is, right? That you don't ask any questions. You're programmed not to ask questions. Whatever master tell you, listen to. And whatever I tell you, because I got that black face, man, don't listen to him. See? Unless he's waving the flag. I ain't waving no damn flag. After 40 years, I'm going to wave this flag? I mean, you think I care? You think I'm going to shit on my ancestors? I'm going to say, F them? After what you did to them? And I'm going to say, oh, that don't mean nothing, because I got the American dream. Really? Okay, that's it, bro. Says I'm gonna leave it there. There's a lot more I would like to say, but I'm just leave it there, bro. Sisters. See, so maybe tomorrow I go into. Every day I'm gonna go into something, right? See, maybe I'll follow up on this one tomorrow. I'm going to talk about all these things they call conspiracy theories that you can easily check out, find a big lie. See. And I'm going to tell you a couple of things. I kind of left you out in the cold there, right? Okay. The reason why they shut down the oil in Gaddafi, remember they want to shut oil down. Why did they shut down the oil in Argentina? Where's the main oil producers? Argentina, Libya, Iraq, right? Arabia, America, and Russia, right? They shut down Argentina. They shut down Libya, right? So Libya's destabilized. They're not producing any oil. Plus, on top of that, Gaddafi made the mistake and said, I don't want your petrodollars anymore. See? I want gold. That means, because on paper now, America owes that money. But if they don't give the money back, because remember, the money's invested here in America. So they got the oil and the money. So they can tell you, yeah, okay, it's your money. But once they got all the oil, you ain't got no they got all from you. They keep the money. That means they got it for nothing. So it's, you understand the game? That's exactly what they did Iran. Exactly what they did. So they got 30 or 40 years of oil for nothing, zero. They got the money, but you would be pissed off on that one? Then tell me I'm lying. So it just stabilized Libya, so they don't produce, right? They got, okay, I knocked out Argentina, knocked out Libya, right? They got control of Iraq. Oh, I forgot Syria. They got control of Iraq. So they control that oil supply over there. They already control that country. Same thing in Syria. They actually taking oil. Do you know they got troops, American troops in Syria? Syria don't want them over there. Now why they mess with Syria? Syria did anything to America? They got American troops over there. They control all the oil wells, and they actually, that's what Trump said, take it on, that's what they're doing. They're actually taking it. Gangsters. America is a terrorist nation, a predator nation. They take it. Okay, now we got Syria. We're talking about Argentina, we're talking about Libya, we're talking about Syria, we're talking about Iraq, right? So where that leaves? That leaves Russia, Iran, and America, right? Okay. So now they sanction Iran, so that's limit their oil production, oil sales, right? And Trump didn't get the memo. That's why they had to get rid of him, because they shut down oil production here in America. Now why would they do that? So the only two you got now is Arabia and Russia. And now they try to shut that one down in Russia. Why? They put the fake war so they can have a reason to shut down all the Arabia. So now only place is Arabia, and they tell Russia, pump, feed the whole world, pump. So that all this don't reproduce stuff all comes from organic matter that decayed over millions and millions and millions of years. They should have place it wasn't a desert. It was a paradise, oasis. It was a paradise of lush plants and animals, everything else, because it had to be to die to produce that much oil. That means you got topsoil in there, yards and yards of topsoil too. To be under that sand. See? So once that oil runs out, it's going to take millions of years before it builds back up again. So once it runs out, and where's all Saudi Arabia's money? It's in petrodollars. It means America has control of it. So it runs out. Oh man, y'all was abusing women, whatever. And so now they got all that oil for years. So America, that's why they spend the money on America like they say they're in debt on paper. On paper they're in debt. But if they don't pay for that oil, they're not in debt, are they? See, because they tell me, yeah, it was on paper, but they don't tend to pay for it. So they run out of oil, and then what? What does Arabia, did they produce cars over there? They produce anything outside oil? Anything? They don't grow their own food. They're doing all they depend totally on that oil. When it's gone, what happens then? Then they got no food. They ain't got no weapons. Well, weapons they have won't last very long because they ain't making their own. So they got to go back to America. Please give me some bullets I can shoot you with. They're on their knees, hungry, starving. See? And so you go in there and find the people that's Christians or ready to convert, and then you get them money, get them whatever they want. Now they all of a sudden they got control of the whole damn country, and they shut all that shit down. That's because to them that's shit. To them that's shit. That don't mean nothing. That mean nothing to them. Our holy sites and everything else. And that's the end, because they started this whole process in 1990, and I can prove it. See, but they said once they got rid of communism, the money broke up Soviet Union, that now the next attack would be Islam, and then the first move was 1990, right when they went after against Saddam Hussein, this process, and now they're wiping all these countries out. And is that I connect all the dots for you, brothers and sisters. See, hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna leave it there. Hope you understand. So let me close down my audio audience here first. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Fire Zone out. Okay, and for my video audience, thank you for listening.